If it's up to Johnny Ives, you'd get like new designs for iPhones every year. Companies are coming up with motorized cameras just to get a all-screen slab, and yet Apple is still sticking with a notch. So what is up, Dip fam? How you doing, man? We are back, man. We are back in a new studio. It's Tech Dip time. Whoop, Tech Dip. First of all, I'm sorry about the long hiatus that we had because, in that time frame, I got married. And then, a lot of things happened, and now we ended up in a new studio. So, what do we do? Let's talk about Apple. Yeah, let's talk about Apple, man. Let's get serious and talk about Apple. But let me grab something quick first. That's right, people. I got a new MacBook Pro. It's a 13-inch model. It's a good time to upgrade. If you have an old 13-inch model, man, this year in 2019, they released a quad-core model for the basic unit. And so if you're thinking about upgrading your MacBook and you ain't got much money like me, man, it's a good time to upgrade. Sell your old MacBook while it has some value and get a new one, because this one is a quad-core Mac. So 2019, we're seeing quad-core. Standard on all models is the touch bar, so you ain't gotta pay extra for that, and it's cheaper. Yeah. Speaking about cheaper, let's talk about the new iPhone 11. iPhone 11 comes out at a cheaper price now. It's $50 cheaper, and it's no longer an XR version in terms of the branding, and so they're just calling it iPhone 11 because that's how good the iPhone is. You got dual cameras on there, and then you got the iPhone 11 Pro. And that's how Apple is going about it. Now let's talk about Apple. The cheaper price. They're now selling all the other old models as well. What the hell is happening to Apple? You see, Apple is trying to conquer all the markets that's available. China is coming in with all these cheap phones like Oppo and 17 Plus or whatever it is, man. So Apple is maintaining their old iPhones to serve those markets, as well as introducing an iPhone 11 standard at $600, $700, $699. Okay, $699 is $700, which is not typical of iPhones. Usually you get like an XR model or something like that, but this year they're calling it iPhone 11 at $700. Okay, and then the Pro version, which you pay a lot more. Back in Steve Jobs' time, when they came up with like iPods and iPads and iPhones, you can be sure he wasn't thinking about the bottom line for the company, man. Because Jobs, man, you know how he spends his money. He just wants to change the world. With his craziness, he takes all that and he aims to change the world with it. And so, he has this company which has billions of dollars, and he's saying, I'm going to spend this money. I'm going to make sure, back in the 80s, that every single home has a PC in it. That kind of ideology is how you change the world. And so that's how Jobs' attitude was when he came up with like iPhone and iPods. It's all because he wanted like technology looking like a toaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you buy a toaster, you ain't got to think about it. That's the idea Steve Jobs had for the iPhone. And now as companies are getting more innovative, they're coming up with like folding phones and shit. Folding phones. You see, Apple is not announcing anything exciting. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, man. This year's release is I'll be honest with you, man. This year's release is quite underwhelming. We're seeing 3-year design, back to going back to iPhone X, and now it's just the same design, maybe a little bit different, but it's just essentially the same phone. Basically, Tim Cook is sticking with the idea that he did back then with the iPhone 6, and then Steve Jobs left, and then, he's stuck with it until iPhone 8. And now, you're seeing the same trends from iPhone X to now the iPhone 11. It's because of profitability. Of course, Tim Cook, being the man that he is, he's not focusing on design. He's focusing on the profitability of the company and how it's going to grow. It's a public company. Investors are breathing down your neck. And I get it. But that's not how you change the world, man. That's not how you become a trendsetter, because you're just focusing on the financial. Yeah, so Apple, as a release, underwhelming, man. It ain't that exciting, okay? We see folding phones from other companies, and I'm sure if you're an Apple fanboy, you'll be saying oh yeah, Apple's gonna come up with their own version. It's gonna blow everyone out of the water. But no, man, seriously, no. Johnny Ives left. As a design team, they felt that they weren't really given the opportunity to design anymore, and so they left. Don't get me wrong, Apple products are still, cutting edge. Their processors are still the best in the market. Their screens, their products, the quality of their products is still the best in the market. But right now, they're maintaining old iPhones. They're sticking to what makes them a good company. They're sticking to what makes the money. And so, they're producing safe iPhones with colors which you might like, but that's not a bold move, man. It's not an innovative move. Every other company is trying to bet on the next thing: 5G, VR, AR. We don't know what would be the next thing. It's just that, what I know is that if there's a paradigm shift in the platforms that we use, back then all you wanted was a Nokia Butterfly, and then suddenly the iPhone comes up and everybody wants a touchscreen phone. So, and you see all these companies going down, man, just because you missed the train. And to be honest, man, smartphone market is getting stale. Better cameras, better processors, getting stale, okay? But if there's a shift, man, suddenly everybody don't want to deal with smartphones anymore, and they want to have VR headsets or whatever. And so if the next standard comes, will Apple be able to stay as a trendsetter? Do they have leadership that is cool enough to be the cool kid on the block that everybody wants to be? I know, man, right now it's not looking great. I'm sure they're gonna sell a whole bunch of iPhones, but I'm just saying, man, there ain't no cool kid in the block no more, man. They're not the trendsetters anymore. And the trend now is stale. So everybody's looking into the future. And the future is dip when it comes to reviews. So if you like this channel, man, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit like, comment, whatever, man, because we are going to keep producing from the good studio. Come back. Let us know what you think about Apple as a company right now. Let us know what you think about, the release of the iPhones, and what exciting new technologies are you looking forward to that's going to change our lives. Thank you for watching.